A 72-year-old patient once stared into my eyes and told me, "Dr. Girag, I've done things the same for 50 years, but now something doesn't feel right." He wasn't suffering from illness. He wasn't taking new medication. Yet, something subtle was affecting his health without him even noticing. For many older men, it's not just the way they approach masturbation. Sometimes the act itself, especially with age, can become an issue. I'm Dr. Girag Mihai. For more than 20 years, I have helped older men over 60 regain their vitality, strength, and sense of confidence, not through shame or shortcuts, but by recommending lifestyle changes backed by research. You've probably heard that self-pleasure is always beneficial, yet the reality is, after 60, certain private behaviors, mainly frequent masturbation, may cause more problems than benefits, no matter how carefully they are practiced. Recent research and medical observations show that regular masturbation in later years may weaken sexual reactions, lower drive and enthusiasm, boost feelings of isolation, and lead to a decrease in prostate and pelvic health, Aging and Mental Health 2019, Harvard Health 2020. In this video, I'll outline 7 frequent mistakes older men make about masturbation. And, even more importantly, how to change these patterns before they silently affect your vitality, performance, and lasting health. Pay close attention. Mistake number 6 is particularly important. Before we go further, if you're a man over 60 who's serious about staying strong, vibrant, and confident, now's a great time to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. This way, you'll never miss life-changing insights tailored to your stage of life. Mistake 1. Using porn as the main stimulus. Over time, countless men in their 60s and 70s have told me, "I just can't feel as much anymore." They usually point to age. However, the real cause is often ignored: how often they depend on pornography and masturbation. As men grow older, the brain's pleasure system, especially dopamine circuits, gets less responsive. Pornography, especially today's overstimulating content, forces the mind to adapt in unhealthy ways. Rather than improving your sexuality, it dulls it. The actual pleasure of intimacy, true touch, and emotional connection starts to fade. It's not a matter of being too old. It's overstimulation that dampens your natural ability to feel and connect. Multiple studies, such as the Journal of Behavioral Addictions, 2017, link ongoing pornography use and masturbation with lower satisfaction, emotional flatness, and even sexual dysfunction for older men. Restoring your system begins with reducing or cutting out reliance on both pornography and solo sexual routines. This way, your body and mind can reawaken to genuine connection and more positive experiences. Mistake 2. Masturbating while sitting on the toilet. What appears convenient can actually be one of the most harmful patterns. Sitting bent over on a toilet reduces blood flow, squeezes the prostate, and strains the pelvic floor. This can cause dribbling after urination, soreness in the groin, and ongoing bladder or prostate discomfort. Many men don't realize these symptoms may be directly related to this solitary habit. Your body, especially your prostate, needs good circulation and rest, not pressure and repeated strain. The healthiest choice? Question this routine altogether. Choose instead habits that support instead of hurt your pelvic health. Are you following along? Type 1 in the comments and hit the like button if this is helping you rethink things. Let's keep going. Mistake 3. Rushing the experience. Another hidden risk is treating masturbation like a chore to finish quickly rather than a meaningful moment. Rushed self-pleasure adds stress to the nervous system, tightens blood vessels, and limits the release of helpful hormones such as oxytocin and dopamine. While climax may still occur, you're often left feeling unsatisfied and empty. Gradually, this teaches your body that pleasure is brief, surface level, and lacking real connection. It can make staying aroused either alone or with a partner, harder than before. Clinical insight. Many older men benefit by moving away from rushed, repetitive habits and focusing more on relaxation, mindful breathing, and new ways to support satisfaction and emotional closeness. Mistake 4. Ignoring the pelvic floor. Most men don't realize how important the pelvic floor muscles are, though they support nearly all aspects of sexual and urinary wellness. Years of sitting, stress, and repeated solitary routines can weaken these vital muscles, causing lower erectile function, bladder issues, and less sensation. Focusing on pelvic health means not only exercising these muscles, but also cutting back or stopping routines that tire or strain them. Full body wellness, including pelvic floor care, should be the focus, not just continuing old patterns. Erections, orgasms, and bladder function are all strongly shaped by the health and strength of the pelvic floor. When these muscles get weak, often due to years of sitting, tension, or regular solitary routines, every part of sexual and urinary health can decline. One of my patients, a former athlete in his late 60s, ate well and stayed active, but told me, "Doctor, something just isn't working now." His pelvic floor had almost switched off. Years of being sedentary and repeating solo habits disconnected him from this key system. By gently working and strengthening these muscles, like with basic pelvic floor exercises, you can restore strength, sensation, and self-confidence. But remember, frequent masturbation may weaken these muscles even more, limiting your progress and health. Is this making sense so far? Type 1 if it is, or 0 if you want us to cover other areas of men's health. Your feedback helps shape future videos. Number 5. Frequency, why more or less isn't always better. How often you masturbate is a big issue, and both too much or too little can cause problems, especially after 60. Too much? You might feel tired, lose interest in true intimacy, and irritate your prostate, which can lead to discomfort and even swelling. European Urology 2018. Too little? Though occasional activity is normal, it's not true that frequent masturbation is needed to keep healthy later in life. In fact, studies show that men who limit or even avoid solitary habits after 60 often report having more energy, stronger interest in real intimacy, and better mental health. Aging Male 2020. Despite the idea that 1 or 2 times per week is ideal, there's really no one perfect number. For many, cutting back or focusing on whole person wellness brings the best results, helping blood flow, emotional strength, and deeper connection. Number 6, using too much pressure or force. One of the worst mistakes is responding to fading sensation by using a tighter grip or more force. This may create a short burst of pleasure, but with time it leads to nerve injury, tiny tears and scarring, even changes that can permanently harm sexual health. Such damage isn't only physical, it can also deepen emotional distance, making sexual satisfaction harder to reach in any situation. The healthiest choice is to understand that chasing stronger sensations with more force does more harm than good. Instead, focus on self-care that supports your body as a whole. Number 7, masturbating without emotion or intention. Maybe the most worrying habit is when masturbation becomes mechanical, a mindless act done out of boredom or urge. This lack of connection stops the brain from releasing hormones that bring pleasure, bonding, and emotional well-being. Instead of healing, this can strengthen feelings of emptiness, isolation, and separation. A pattern often linked to lower mood and quality of life in older adults. International Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry, 2017. Rather than using solo routines to fill emotional gaps, invest your time in meaningful activities, relationships, or creative outlets. These options provide lasting satisfaction and true fulfillment. Bringing it all together. The real risk to well-being after 60 isn't just age. It's losing connection, repeating solitary routines, and slowly letting go of emotional and physical engagement with yourself and others. Every one of these 7 mistakes can quietly lower your confidence, vitality, and sense of calm. The good news is you have the power to choose a better path. It's never too late to make healthy changes. You aren't broken. You're just moving into a new stage. Approach it with care. Start small. Treat yourself kindly. Prioritize whole person wellness and real connection. Your best years aren't over. They're shaped by how you live, with purpose, wisdom, and self-respect. Before you go, hit subscribe so you never miss videos that put your health, confidence, and relationships first. Then tell us, what part of this video helped you most? Your stories and input inspire us to keep making real, helpful content for men like you. And if this helped, even a little, share it with someone you trust.